Welcome to
All right.
High Vibe Studios. I'm your host, Patrick
Give,
Picard. Here I am with
give me a high
Jean
vibe.
Luc. Give me a high vibe. Boom.
Ha.
What's up, y'all? So we did a few test runs before. This is our first episode. Jean Luc, you can just introduce yourself. I'll introduce myself after. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
Oh, facts. Jean Luc, and I'm here for the vibes,
He said, I'm
for the
here for
high
the vibe.
vibes,
I'm
for the
here for
high
the vibe.
vibes specifically, right? So
The fact.
our goal is to keep every conversation, have deep conversation about a whole host of subjects, but tie that into like our frequency, our energy, and how it relates, right? So on this on the High Vibe podcast, there's no gossiping, no negative talk, no low frequency bullshit. So if you here for that, like there's plenty of little gossip blogs and other dumb shit you
Get into.
stupid ass could
Yeah,
go.
this ain't it.
This ain't it. This
Yeah,
ain't it. This is strictly about protecting your energy, building your energy, maintaining energy so you can produce and really live in the talents that God gave.
absolutely. And doing that at the highest level possible. Uh,
Facts.
so first segment, getting straight into 3D printing. So
Yeah.
John Luke runs a 3D printing business, and he got a few things to show y'all. So, bro,
Yeah.
show the people what you got, man. What you got going on?
So interesting. So let's preface it, right?
Right.
Because now coming like being an entrepreneur starting from the ground up, right? So I have this idea, right? And it starts off with an idea, then you got to execute the idea, produce the actual product, right? So that's the part that most entrepreneurs um focus on, right? And it's just the building, right? You have an idea for a product, whether it's a clothing brand or whatever, right? You get your first t-shirt made, whatever. Now you gotta go sell that t-shirt, right?
Right.
If you're, no matter what you're producing, once you actually produce it, now how do I go sell it, market it, right?
Right.
So most people, right? Like nowadays, we just think about, going straight to the internet,
Right.
right? But there has to be some kind of groundwork,
Facts.
right? So I basically print 3D products for gym rats, right?
Yep.
And the interesting about doing the groundwork, right, is actually being in front of people, right?
Facts.
So that's one for the players. So it's a
Players.
protein scoop in the shape of a kettlebell. And ladies, this is for y'all right here, right? This is all for my
It's for the gym
gym,
mommies, the muscle mommies.
the muscle mommies, the gym Barbies, whatever you are. You're being that, you're doing that, and I make products for you. So what's interesting? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's one of the most interesting. That's one of the more interesting. We're gonna talk about that later. Right, right, right. So what's interesting about this very product is the social experiment that goes with this product. So Pat, I'm gonna turn this over to you, right, in a little bit. But so with this product, I thought it, I planned it, and I printed it. But now it's time to go sell it. I can just go put it on the internet, put a bunch of ads on and just whatever, right? But I'm actually in the streets with these, right? Or in the gym with it, right?
Absolutely.
And the social experiment is walking up to random women in the gym and trying to give them this product
Which,
for
which
promotional
hands
purposes
down
only.
is probably one of the hardest things to do if you're actually trying to spark up conversation in today's age and you're trying to speak to people. It's not hard, but you're gonna have to like realize that there's a time frame and a certain audience that are willing to receive that. Because I also partook in the experiment, and
Right?
I got some yeses, I got some really great reactions,
You,
and
you
then I
got, and
got some
we got some
really
negative
like,
ones too,
what are you
right?
giving me, sir? And
Right.
you know,
So
I
it seems. It seems easy, right? So as we're saying it, it seems easy enough, right? You got a product that, oh, and we're not showing you the packaging yet because the packaging is fire too, right?
Right.
Packaging, it's
Absolutely.
elite
Super elite.
packaging, right?
Yo, yes.
Elite tire. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the packaging for the players, right? We see you see the blue crumple paper. So the packaging for the women, we have like pink and white, like crumple paper. Like it's really fire, right?
It's super fire, bro.
So it should be easy to walk up to a person and go, here, I own a business. Can I give you one of my products?
For free.
Right?
At
For,
that.
for free.
Right.
It should be easy. Why is it so difficult? Why is it, why is it such like, oh man, what's happening? What's happening with social interactions? Like, I grew up in a gym community.
Right.
There was a time when you could walk up to the gym, you could walk in the gym and ask anybody anything. You
Anybody
could
having
spark a
any
conversation.
conversation with anybody. Yup. Facts.
It's
It's
not that.
no, it's not that. I don't know. Like, some people are saying like the introduction of headphones. Um,
Mm,
I think more so is a culture shift, right?
yeah.
So I think
Let's talk about it.
more people started seeing the gym as, all right, this is my place to heal. This is my place to just work out and do me. I don't want to talk to anybody, right?
Great,
But
great point.
ironically, me and him met at the gym, right? And
Yeah.
a few other associates and friends that I made, and
Yeah.
it changed the direction of my life because we had one strong passion, which was fitness, and which still is. So I've met some really really extremely important people in my life at the gym. But now, as the culture starts to shift, it's not that. I guess everyone's to themselves. Also, too, I think after the pandemic, like some people,
Things got spooky.
yeah, it got really spooky. People
It
started,
got spooky. The,
oh man,
the
it's
vibes got spooky.
stupid spooky, like super
Yeah.
stupid spooky. It's like it's crazy to the point where I think some people have started accepting the fact that they live in their social anxiety, which I won't say accepting, but some people do have social anxiety, right? So I do
Yeah. Absolutely.
I understand the
I
feeling
understand
of
that
it,
too. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
I
like
can understand that.
I think after COVID, the pandemic, that fear just really started doing different things and started having people think in a whole different manner. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but
To pig to piggyback off that point. Now, you may be living in your social anxiety and you're just there to get a workout. And now dude walks up to you, right? Is
right,
asking you to take your headphones off,
right,
right? And claiming that they run a business and
right,
they want to give you a product for promotion,
right.
right? Like, I guess if you go to an event, you're expecting a product, right?
Right.
But on a random Tuesday during like an 11:30 a.m. workout, that's not what you're expecting.
No, that's the last thing you're
That's the
expecting.
last thing.
Right,
So two different experiences. Let's talk about the good ones and the bad ones, right? So, so let's talk about the bad one first, because this was just like, I knew it. I knew it was going to be bad. Because now I'm, so I'm in the gym and I'm initially, I have these fire products. I'm like, ooh, women are going to love these, right?
right,
Especially if you're a gym rat, because all of the like the protein containers come with that lame ass, the little plastic scoop, right?
yeah.
That some companies don't even give you one of those, right? Some companies just give
Oh
you the
yeah,
protein without it.
they just give you the packaging. I think that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful, bro.
So that's low key going raw.
Right. You
That's
figure it
like
out. Get
low,
a spoon, homie.
that's get a spoon, right? That's like
Get a
you pull
spoon.
up with no hat. Like you going there raw. So now I'm just like, okay, I have limited amounts, right? So the
Right,
first time I got like 20,
right,
but I'm just like, all right, like, do I just give it out to all women, random women, right?
right.
So my idea is let me look for the women in the gym who look like they could be influencers, right? Who
Facts.
look like they may be on a fitness journey,
Right.
right? So, um, you would think that every person out with a camera in the gym is on some kind of fitness journey and they're trying to document it, right?
right.
But no, that they might have, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so I'm looking to see who could be possible candidates. And some went well, some didn't, like we said, right? But I see this one girl, right? She's in the corner, she's moving around. The first thing I look for, right? Do you actually know what you're doing during the workout, right? Like, are you actually getting a good workout, right? How's your form, your technique, right? I'm not judging whether it's perfect or not, right?
Right.
Just are you doing good shit in the gym?
Facts.
And I see her and I'm like, oh, she's getting some good work in, right?
Right.
But if I had to put money on it, did she look like a social butterfly? No, she looked a little bit reserved,
Right.
right? And I was just like, I'm itching to give this product out. She's right there. I'm like, it's probably not going to go well, right? She's probably not going to have the same excitement for the product. So anyway, walk up to her anyway, right? As I'm walking up to her, I can see her kind of look up nervously in the mirror, see me coming,
Right.
and she's like starting to get guarded as I'm coming closer, right?
Right.
And I'm like, hey, right? And then she takes off her headphones and she says hi. And I get straight to it. I compliment her on her work and I'm like, yo, you're really getting some really good work in, right?
Right.
And, and I introduce myself, right? And I'm, tell her my name, tell her that I run a business, right? To me, I was a bit long-winded, right? Which I adjusted during the campaign, right?
Right.
But I'm really trying to give the information as to why I'm walking up to you, right?
Right. Right.
But I noticed it seemed like people really give a fuck why you like get to the point, right? She kind of
Right.
had that look
Yeah.
like get to the point. And I say, I want to give you I want to give you a product
Right.
and I just want to give it to you. And she's just like, she looked at me why would you want to give me something? And I'm like, why would I want to give you something?
Yeah.
I don't,
Just the skeptics is crazy. Nah, but it's real though. Like it's really real though. Like
yeah.
right.
At first I didn't, and I gave it to her and she was like, oh, wow. And she was just like, what is this? And I told her what it was. I said, it's a protein scoop. It's shaped like a kettlebell. And I said, it's pink. It matches your tumbler. Some of the gear she had on was pink. And she was just like, oh, do I have to pay you for this? And I'm like, no, it's yours. It's just promotion. Here, take it. And she's just like, she didn't know what to say. She didn't know
Right.
what to say. She didn't know what to do. So I'm like, no, I just want you to take it. Just go enjoy it. You don't have to, I'm not trying to get your number. I'm not trying to get you anything. To take the
Yo.
product and enjoy. And she was just like, thank you. like, like,
Yo,
all right.
yo, big
Right?
emphasis on I'm not trying to get your number. Like if you saw my face just recently,
Huge
like
emphasis.
I'm not trying
Huge
to bag you,
emphasis.
sis. But go ahead, continue, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. So that was like, I mean, wasn't not so negative experience, but it wasn't the reaction I was looking for,
No,
right?
right.
But what I noticed is, and just to keep it a high vibe, right? We're not going to talk about what she looked like, right? She
No.
was just getting a good workout, right? But now, but now every time I've approached the quote unquote gym baddies, right? Like really like, that physical upper echelon in the gym,
Right.
right? Approach them, hey, this is why I adjusted on my campaign, right? So I approach them like no need for introduction. Just, hey, I see you like really doing your thing. I'm really appreciating your technique and how you perform your shit. Like you're really getting a good ass workout, right? I
Right.
want to give you something. And they all go, you want to give me something? And then I'm like, here, pull it out. And she was like, oh my God, this is so cute. And just like the energy was really high
Right.
with the
Right.
confident
Yes.
females in the gym, right? So it's typically the confident females most that don't look approachable.
Right.
They've been a lot more receptive to the actual conversation, to the actual business model. And as soon as I gave it to her, she was on timing. She was just like, what do you need from me? Do you need promotion? Do you want me to like say something on my Instagram? Do you want me to do this, do that? And I'm like, that's fire. Like you're on timing.
Yep.
But I just noticed the vibes was higher with certain women versus some other ones,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I don't think it had anything to do with looks as I analyzed it, right?
Right.
But just some people are operating on a higher frequency.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
their energy output is a lot higher than some others,
Right.
right? And so the why, there's a lot to go into the why, right? And as we move on, as we move on, we'll talk about what goes into that why. But like
Hmm.
the baddies I've been getting A1 reactions from the quote unquote baddies.
Right.
And so we did an experiment, right? We love tech, right?
Hmm.
So Pat, I wanted you to go into our chat GPT experiment.
Absolutely. So now with Chat GPT, which is a language model by OpenAI. Excuse me. Yeah. So a lot of people give AI and Chat GPT so much flack these days. A lot of people are worried about security and the whole nine, right? But as business owners or people that's growing within their respective fields, a lot of us see AI as a benefit to our business and our business
100%,
models. Um,
100%.
Me knowing how to run Facebook ads and Google ads, being certified in Google digital marketing, I use AI for damn near a lot of my business outside of just shooting and everything else, right? So with ChatGPT, I ran a test and me and Jean Luc was having a conversation and I inputted what the product was and I prompted it and I asked it, what is the target
It's this
audience?
product right here.
Yes. What's the target audience that would be more receptive to this specific product? And like down to the T,
Mhm.
it was absolutely right. It named the type of gear that this person would have, age range, um, shoes, like if they have accessories,
Everything.
everything, and just being able to understand who your target audience is super important.
Yeah.
But AI had figured that
Yeah.
out, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure like I'm not the first person. I've actually learned that method from another marketer. And yeah, that is just like everything's not for everybody. And when you have a product that you're trying to give to the marketplace, you need to know who are your specific buyers and who's looking for what you sell, and down to what you wear, how you think, how you accessorize,
Mhm.
that plays a major part.
100%.
That plays a major part.
100%. So what chat basically described was the woman in the gym that gave me the high frequency response,
Right.
right? Right.
Right.
To the T.
Right,
And
to the
so,
T. Yup. To the T,
and
dog. To
so,
the T.
and so the dud that gave me the boo response, right?
Right.
Like she didn't fit the profile
No.
that chat described, right?
Right.
So, okay, like I'm a big believer in AI, right? Like we really fucks with AI, right? So I followed the exact target audience that, that chat suggested. And every single time after I got a positive response. So chat described the clothing that the woman would have on, right? Jim, Jim Batty would have on a Jim Batty Bart, whatever call
Right. The
themselves these days, right?
aloe,
Right. So
Gymshark.
the the
Feel
access
me?
right, the Lululemon,
Yeah.
the accessories down to like even I remember mention things like ankle braces, like like certain accessories, right? Certain shit like squat pads. Right, like those women would have their own squat pads, and the
Right.
squat pads would be pink, and
Right.
they would have Stanley tumblers, and the tumblers might be pink also. So now I literally go into the gym, any gym, and I'm prospecting that exact female that was described by AI. And when I notice her, same thing. I see, and every single time, it's been so consistent that not just with the look, but that person is also is also having the most like comprehensive like workout.
Facts.
Like their routines are on point.
Right.
Their techniques are on point. The pace that they're going at is on point. Like the focus is on point, right? So they literally fit the profile. And every time I've approached them, like, hey, I see you do your thing. At first, I want to give you props for that, but I want to give you a gift also. I got a business. I make products for gym rats,
Right.
right? And I take it out. It's been the most beautiful experience,
Yeah.
right?
I,
During this whole campaign run.
I could attest
And
to that. I could attest to that. Absolutely.
talk about it. Yep.
I could attest
So,
to that.
you
Hmm.
know, the conversations that we've had is, like we typically operate at a high vibrational frequency, right?
Absolutely.
And we know a lot of people don't, right? And is that, I think that's at play here, right?
Right.
It's you see the confidence in some people are different. The vibes of some people are different.
Right.
Like what makes one person's frequency higher than another? Or is it just that the person with the low frequency, because my frequency is so high, I don't match, right? Or maybe it's not about high and low frequency. It's just the fact that we're on two different planes, right? Of existence, probably. We're in the same place, two different planes of existence, right? So we are existing in the same space, but technically we're not existing in the same space,
That
right? And
that's a
so,
fact. That's a
so
fact.
be-
Yeah, bro.
because I think,
For
let's
sure.
say if I was a lower let's say if I was operating at a lower frequency, right?
Mhm.
Would I be able to match the the first subject that I talked about, right? Would she be more receptive had I not, if I'm not always like, I'm always ready for action. I'm always ready to get something popping, right? Like I walk in, I'm smiling. I'm like enjoying just being, right?
Right.
And
Existing. It's a
just
sense of
existing,
gratitude. Yeah.
right? And some people are like, get that shit away from me,
Yeah. Like
right?
what the fuck you
Like
like
turn
you
that
damn.
down. You
Like
shining a
you
little
doing
bit
too
too.
much. Like you doing
You doing too much. Like you doing too much smiling. You doing too much. Like you just doing too much.
yeah, you
And
enjoying
I'm
life
like,
a
damn,
little bit too much for me. It's like, come
I like doing too much, I guess. I like people who do too much.
on.
Or people who get accused of doing too much, right? Because those are the
Facts,
people that are active, that are productive, right? Like,
facts, facts, facts.
and
Like
that, and as we've analyzed it, right? That has a lot to do with like what frequency you're operating on.
I just to like even piggyback on what you said, bro. Like certain people that operate at certain planes of frequency, they take action in a whole different way. So if you
Whole
were on a
different.
lower frequency, I don't even like, or if you was at a set frequency, I don't think you'd be even able to want to walk up to somebody and give them something. You get what I'm saying?
What
Like I think
would I be able to execute ideas? Would I be able to have an idea and execute it if I was operating at a lower frequency?
I think you'd have the ideas, but I don't think you'd execute them with like an expected faith. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm,
then
hmm.
so it's like I've been learning about frequency and energy, right? And those two go hand in hand, like like a radio, right? Like a radio needs to be
Facts.
charged, it needs power, and also it needs an antenna to receive frequency, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
for it to operate, which we'll get into later about radio waves and all that cool shit. But for the most
Absolutely.
part, like if you don't have the energy for certain actions, like you're not going to have the thought process to actually execute certain actions, right? And
Yeah.
I was having this conversation a bit earlier with a friend of mine's, and I was saying like even with like energy, if you want to raise your frequency, you want to raise your energy, like let's start with one. What are you eating? Are you getting rest? Are
Yep.
you sleeping? You know what I
100%.
mean? Like a lot of people are
100%.
operating at 20%, because like you're not getting enough sleep. You eat
100%. Yep.
you eat too much processed foods, right? Which is like actually draining you of energy. So like you can start
100%.
from right there. Like, a lot of people are not, you're not gonna feel motivated to do anything because it's like
I can feel motivated. What you're putting on your body,
what
what you put in on your skin,
right.
like what one low key underrated aspect to actual energy and frequency are the toxins from the products that you use for skincare.
Mm,
Like if you actually Google the effects of the products, some of the products that you can't even read what they are, right? That you use for skincare, you would what you would find is that a lot of them are disruptors, right?
mm,
So they disrupt your neural pathways. They cause instability and just send your hormones out of whack, but they do it at a slow rate, right? So sometimes you may think someone's annoying you or something like that, right?
right.
But you're constantly basically putting toxins into your body through your pores.
That's a fact. And it's
And so,
changing your hormones.
yes, and now that's super underrated, right? So what you're putting in your body, who you have around you is like, that's the one that we know, right? That's one that we're aware of. We're aware of what's happening outside of ourselves, right? But you always hear like this notion that, you control what you can control. You can't control what's outside of you,
That's a fact.
but what you can control is what you actually do with your body, what you put into your body, and what you put on your body.
That's a
All
fact.
of that is lowering your frequency, right?
That's a fact.
And you're annoyed by me walking up to you trying to give you a fucking product,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like you got to think at some point. Let's think about why did him walking up to me, smiling with good energy, wanting to give me a product, why did that just bother me?
Right.
Right? Why did he
Right.
give me a free product? Why did that just bother me? Is it him
Right.
or is it just the vibe that I'm
I
operating on?
right. Yeah. Like I think some people just don't. They're not aware, right?
Yeah.
That that their vibe is like, what I mean, you just meh.
And
Right.
and that's this right. And but that's the shit that that's really that's really his definition of mid. Right? That's like mid all across the board. Like just
Just
that's
meh.
you like you're mid. Your personality's mid. Right? And it's not because you may be like you'll hear some people are like more comfortable around people that they're close to. So you'll see their personality a lot more in like those settings where they feel like more
Safe in a
comfortable,
sense.
right?
Yeah. Safe. Yeah.
Yeah, when you feel safe, right? When you're in your safe space, right? But like everyone is special. You all have, if your family and friends enjoy you,
Right.
right? Like other people will also,
Absolutely.
right? So it's just this lack of, I don't know if it's a lack of confidence I'm putting, you know, it's hard to pinpoint, right? Because there's so many factors, right?
Facts.
But like, and this is just me believing in like the human race, right?
Right.
Like if we could all just get like our real self-care together, not the fake shit that you see, not going to get a motherfucking like massage or going to get your feet and nails done and hair and like that's not self-care.
Right.
Like self-care is truly what you put into your body, what you do with your body, what you put on your body that could affect your organ systems and how they run, how
That's
it can affect you neurologically.
right.
That's real self-care, right?
That's
Like
a fact.
it's getting away from people who affect that, right?
That's a fact.
So if you're with somebody that's lowering your ability to produce more in life, right? Like that's affecting your frequency.
That's a big one.
And you,
That's a big one
that's a
right
big
there.
one.
That's a big one.
It's a
And
big one. That's the biggest. I think that's the biggest. Like get rid of that. Forget about everything else I just said, right? Like, cause that's secondary.
he said that's secondary. Like
That's it. Cause we all know protecting our energy, right? but you can't protect your energy if you have somebody with you, or if you're with somebody, or, um, I don't care who it is, family, care if it's your damn kids,
Right.
right? Like your mama, your pops, your sibling, whoever it is that's affecting your energy, it's also consequently affecting your production.
Absolutely.
And so, if you're around that person and you find yourself doing less
Right.
and you're capable of doing more, like,
It's time to pack it up. Let's go. And that's a fact. And also too, there's people that sadly enough, there's people that you get into like certain relationships with, friendships, actual relationships. They deliberately know you operate at a certain vibe, and
yeah,
it's like it's like a game
absolutely.
to try to turn you down. Like they try to, like, I don't like
Yeah,
the fact that you're always smiling.
yeah,
People naturally magnetize
yeah.
towards you.
People naturally,
Some
yeah,
people know that, like, you every time you come around, you get some sort of spotlight, and
yeah,
I gotta find a way to turn that down. And they do that by like getting into your ear. They get into like,
yeah.
it's so manipulative, and it's dangerous. But if you start
It's
noticing
dangerous.
that, you gotta get up out of there. Like, you gotta get out of there. There's some people, like,
It's
they
100%.
purposely want to argue with you just to throw you off balance. Like, I want to argue,
Yeah.
and it's like, why? Why do you want to argue? And it's like, yeah, because you're just too happy. Like,
Yeah,
everything's just
yeah,
too good. It's like, what are
yeah,
you talking about? It's like,
yeah.
it's
Yo,
messed up.
you said something because that's like, in later episodes, in following episodes, we'll get into story time with John Luc, right? And I'll give you guys, some of my experiences, right? Motherfuckers trying to lower my frequency, right? But that's literally one problem that I had, in my last relationship, right? Like how, people were drawn to me in the street while we were out. At first it seemed like a joke,
Right.
but then I'm like,
Some truth in this
this
joke.
is feeling like it's a problem,
There's some
right?
truth in
Like
them jokes, boy. I
it,
tell you that.
this is feeling like it's a problem, right? So, you know me for a long time, bro. Like I go everywhere I go, it's the same vibe. It's the same high vibe, right? And normally people are attracted to that, right? And
Magnetizing,
not in a,
bro.
yeah, not
It's
even in a
magnetic,
weird
bro.
way, but just like, oh shit, like this dude,
Has a
it
warm.
feels like
He's
I could,
warm. It's a warm personality.
if
Like, I can
it
approach.
feels like I could talk to him.
Yeah, and it's,
It
but you
it
can
feels
though.
like I could talk to him. It feels like I could ask him anything. It feels like I could just approach him. It feels like it, right? It feels like it because I don't have that don't talk to me kind of vibe when I'm out. I'm not about that, right? And but at first it was just like a joke, right? At first it was just like a joke. But then after a while, it was just like, oh, you really don't like this, right? You really don't like this. I can't, what can I do about that, right?
Right.
Can't do nothing about that. I can't do nothing about that. So and I imagine, cause it was hard for me to deal with it, right? And not in the sense of, uh, that it changed how I acted when I went out, right?
Right.
But in a sense of it was always on the back of my mind that this is something that's going to bother you,
Right.
right? Like that I can't change, right? Like I can't dim my light.
No, you're not
I
supposed to.
just, I just can't.
Right.
I just can't dim my light. I don't have I don't know. It's like some people do it. Some
Right.
people do it in like some people do it. Now I do that at work, right? I tone down at work, right? But in my personal life, I shouldn't have to be less than just to make you feel comfortable.
No, but let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about the fact that you have an idea of turning it down at work, and like, what's your reason why? Because like, we are both advocates for, like, really living
Yeah,
authentically. But
yeah,
talk about like why, like, in a workspace, or when you were like,
yeah.
teammates or whoever, like, that you like purposely kind
Well,
of
yeah,
a little bit. Like, what's the reason for that?
because so without getting into details of my workspace where I work at, right? My
Right.
career, right? Because we're just focus on mostly business and how it relates, right?
Right.
In the podcast and entrepreneurship and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But like at work, um, first I'm able to dress like this,
Right.
right? So it puts me in a smaller percentage of people, right? Because there's not a lot of black men at my job,
Mm.
right? And the black men at my job are just like, I want to say they're different than I am. Different background, different circumstance, right? Most
Different
of them,
upbringing. Totally
never
different.
Brilliant.
Right.
Most of them look like they grew up well,
Right.
right? Middle class, middle class to high class families, well taken care of. Everything's been planned out. They're well buttoned up, right?
Right.
Individuals, right?
Right.
I'm from the trenches. I'm a trench baby, right? But it just so happens that, I'm a bit intelligent, right?
Yeah.
And so, and so now being in shape also puts me in a smaller percentage, right? So just my image and my appearance, the combination with my intelligence puts me in a very small percentage,
Right.
right? Because everyone that actually looks like me, right? That's in a job with people that don't look like them, they're doing the code switching, right? Like when they talk, all of a sudden there's zero bass in your voice, right? When you're talking, right?
Right.
Like, you're acquiescing to every demand, right?
Right.
Like I don't do any of that, right? I come in just as myself and usually I'm shining on these hoes. Manny Fresh voice, right? So, so, but, but now, but what I noticed is it made the room uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm outnumbered, right?
Right.
Because I'm already in a small percentage.
Right.
Now, when I've made the entire room uncomfortable, now there's an isolation. So it's just me here, the rest here.
That's
And it's not like I want to, it's not like I'm itching to mingle, right?
right.
But what it's done is it's created like this separation, right? It's created like I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but more so the ease. I think I would have an easier time, right? And meaning because the me shining at work, me just walking in my light, right? Is not what I'm getting paid for, right? So I'm actually, I don't
Right.
get paid for that. I wish I did, right?
Right.
That'd be light work too, right?
Right.
But I don't get paid for that. I get paid to do the actual job, right?
Right.
And to do the actual job, I got to be part of this team, right? And once I'm part of this team at work, it's not like being a quarterback, right? It's not like being a quarterback of a football team, right? Or like, that's not the position when you're in a team at work, right? Like you're literally working side by side with people who are making the same amount of money as you,
Right.
right? Who have the same responsibility as you, right? But, uh, they might come to work. Example, they might come to work having a bad night, having a bad day, whatever it is, walk into work and they're not like in the mood, right? So for me, whether I have a bad night or a bad morning, as soon as I get where I'm going, I'm lit again. You feel me? Like whatever happened to me,
Right.
I have the ability to not let it affect me while I'm at work, right? And so I understand that my ability to not let life affect me while I'm at my job is a gift. It's just a gift. It's just a gift from God, but it's also the work that I've done to keep my frequency high,
That's a fact.
right? So that I can keep whatever I'm going through contained, right?
Absolutely.
And I've had a rough year, right? But
Right.
I've been able to keep what I have going on negative here and be positive, smile at work, be happy, be ready to go, be motivated. And if I walk into the room and my other coworkers are struggling because they're going through real life also, and here I am coming in smiling, just being me and shit like that shit not going well. They like, yo, I can't fuck with this. They're like, go take that shit somewhere else, bro. You know what I mean? Get that shit somewhere else, bro. And I'll be really even get work done. But I noticed that when I come around and I'm smiling, I'm, coming through looking like me, they just like, oh, I don't even want to deal with this guy right now. Like, I'm not even in the mood for his vibe right now, right? Like he's up and I'm down. I don't want they're not knowing that I'm worse. I'm more depressed than you are.
Right. You know what's
But
crazy,
it's
bro?
just,
You know, I'm sorry I just want to, I just, because this thought dawned on me, right?
yeah, talk
And
to me.
sometimes, like, you know what? I started realizing, like, okay, like, sometimes it's the fact that there are certain people that they vibe is down here. It's low, right? And then you have people who vibe is
Yeah,
neutral, right?
yeah.
They're not
Right,
high,
right,
they're
right,
not low, they're just
right.
where they're at, right?
Yeah,
And
smooth.
it, and then you have people that are on a high vibe. You just
Uh,
operate at a very high energy, high like vibration, right? So at this point, like there are certain people that like it's like okay, for example, you have those two people that's on a low frequency, they on some like, I don't like this guy. I don't like how he move. I
yeah,
don't like how he move. And the people that's
facts.
neutral,
Yeah,
like they're
yeah.
not they're not tuned to anything going on, right?
They
So
really
people
don't
that
care.
right, they don't know. But like the people at the low energy go and start talking to the neutral people, and they kind of
Yeah,
like start convincing them like, yeah, you see. So now
yeah,
those people are on alert for you, right? While
yeah,
you're on some,
yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. I started
yeah,
noticing that there are people that they operate like, I don't like him.
yeah.
So how do I get
And
more people not to like him? You
that's
get what I'm
happened,
saying? And it's like
right?
it's crazy how
That's
people have
literally
to
happened.
plot. You have to plot for other people to not like one individual because
Yeah,
if he gets to them, they're gonna
yeah,
they're gonna rock with him, and in whatever mask that you
yeah,
put on,
yeah,
quote unquote, that everybody's gonna
yeah,
is gonna see through your facade, and now people not
yeah,
gonna rock with you. So like that's
yeah,
how this game is,
yeah,
man. It's a very spooky
yeah.
game, bro. But
You you know what I like it, you know what I compared it to, and I likened it to this, right? Wait, it's like walking into the matrix and then walking out of it, right? So when you walk into the matrix, you have NPCs all over the place, right? And like they're moving at the same pace, they're making the same jokes, same lame ass jokes. They're laughing at the same things,
right,
right? Sometimes I even look, I'm like, bro, why are you laughing at that? That's not even funny,
right,
right?
right.
But it's just because maybe their boss or some administrator or some supervisor said it. Like, oh, I'm like, it's not funny.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
like why you like sometimes I hit a joke and then everybody's like, I'm like, what is, like that wasn't,
it's like I
you
don't get
know,
it.
and then, I gotta, so this is the fine line. I'm not going to be on that side where I'm just laughing at a lame ass joke now, right? But I understand when they start to isolate you at work because of your high energy,
Right,
right? Like it really gets hard to actually do your job.
that's a fact.
It gets really hard to
Yeah,
do your
it's
job.
hard.
And I get paid to do that job, right? Like I don't get paid to be fully John Luc because right now at work, I'm in the matrix. The minute I leave the matrix, and I'm walking into my personal being, my personal space. Now I can take the jacket off and let the light shine.
That's a fact. That's a
Right.
fact. Yep.
But so if rewind back to the first girl that I approached at the gym, right? Her frequency was low at the moment. Now, as an entrepreneur, I look at it the same way as I look at when I actually go to my career job, right?
Right.
Had I matched her frequency, although it was low, had I matched her frequency, uh, I could have sold her a product.
Right.
And that's what it's about at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So like we get fixated on those light beings, right? Because there's a particular percentage of us who are light beings. So though the light beings always want to be light beings,
Right.
right? But when you got a product to sell, you can't sell it to just light beings. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because there's now you're only selling it to a small percentage of people, right? Like, that's not a way to make money. You really have to be able to sell to everybody, right?
That's a
And
fact.
so, and so, um, notice when people use the term, I match energy, they're only speaking in reference to if you turn up, I'm going to turn up. They're never speaking towards if you turn down, I'm going to turn all the way down with you. You
That's
see
a
what I'm
fact.
saying?
Right.
Like it's only one direction,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
I only match energy if you're turning up.
That's it.
But,
That's it.
but now, but now like thinking as an entrepreneur, I'm figuring out ways to match lower frequencies
Right.
because like I really want to sell my product,
Facts.
right?
And your
And
product
I can't.
solves a problem. You feel
Your
me?
product solves a problem. Yes. And the product solves a problem and anyone will enjoy it. Not just the high frequency beings, the low frequency beings, no matter what stage you're at in your personal development, right? You'll enjoy this product. But if I'm only making advertisement and if I'm only selling to those like-minded, right? Then I'm only selling to a small percentage of people. If I go into work and I only communicate with those who are like me, I'm not talking to nobody,
That's a
right?
fact. Right.
And I can't get nothing done,
Right.
right? But the fact that I have to interact, the fact that we all have to interact, all light beings have to interact in spaces with individuals who are really low frequency.
Right.
And prior to last year, I struggled because I just wanted to be myself.
Right. Right. And that's
And I, and
understandable.
I, I felt like I was kind of lowering myself, right?
Right.
Like really, really taking my energy from that 10 that it's on down to a 2 just so I could communicate with you. But at certain points, it's a necessity,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so being able to just be versatile, right? In my energy expansion is just like, can I go, even though I like to operate at a 8, 9, 10, can I also operate at a 2, 3, 4
Right.
energy level and still get the same things done, right? And
Fact.
and not feel like it's taken away from me.
That's a
Look
fact.
what happened to Shador Sanders, right? That boy dropped in the draft, not because of his play. Some say it was because of his dad. But look, his dad is like us.
Super
Like we
hot.
talk the
Yeah.
same shit. We
Right.
feel the same way about ourselves. I understand the exact language he's talking.
Right.
When I hear a young Shador Sanders talk, I understand. I feel him 100%.
Right.
Boy, let that light shine. But
Right.
now when you walk into a team with 50 other individuals,
Right.
like not everybody's shining like you.
No.
So you coming over and taking over that entire space, that's cool. Like one or two times, right?
Right.
But in an instant, let's say we lose a game,
Right.
right? Like, bro, like, don't come in on that bullshit, right?
Right.
Don't come in on that like shit is fine. That shit is not fine, bro. Or like,
Right.
you know what? Adjust that frequency, like the adjustment, right? The adjusting the frequency. And so, later on we'll get into like the scientific talk, right?
Facts.
Like, so some say that if you can match the frequency of a solid wall, like this solid wall behind me,
Right.
right? If I can match the frequency of that wall, I can walk through it.
That's next level. That's
And
next level.
science is working right now to develop actual cloaks.
Right.
I don't know if you heard about this, but later on we'll find like some ways to upload like articles and links and stuff like this,
Yeah.
right? But science are developing cloaks, literally a cloak, a jacket that's fully encompassing that would match the frequency of wherever you are
Right.
and you would become virtually invisible.
That's crazy. So
It's insane.
so to piggyback off that point, like on this pod also too, like I'll be able to share my screen. So whatever facts and data that we want to like talk about, I could always go and then be able to share my
Let me
screen at
do
the
that.
same time while we're speaking.
All right.
You feel me?
100%
But
we'll
there's a
need to
lot
do
of
that.
stuff that's going on. Excuse me, that's going on, but that the common conversation won't allow you to kind of grasp because you kind of seem like
For
or you think
sure.
like, oh, that's impossible. Like, how's that possible?
For sure.
And then
It's gotta be,
you know what I
you
mean?
gotta, baby spoons, baby
Right,
spoons.
baby spoons. But at the same time, too, once you start understanding that a lot of the technology that exists, and me and John say this all the time, a lot of the technology that exists in today's age is really based off the human body. You know what I mean?
100%.
And
100%.
a lot of people don't understand like this alone is a temple, but it's a next level technology, right? And that's why like a lot of people feel frustrated or can be frustrated because they've been given this body that they have and they don't know how to navigate the tech that they have, you know.
100%.
So
100%.
yeah, like once you
Yeah.
start getting into that level of thinking, you start to understand that okay, there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I haven't discovered that is present in my everyday life, and I never thought about it. Hence why we have
That's a
High Vibe podcast.
five,
You know what I
five,
mean?
guys. Give me a high five.
Give me a high vibe, man.
Now, yo, you put that was profound, bro. Like
Thank you.
literally people are frustrated because they don't know how to operate the tech that they've been given.
Thanks.
Like that's a, so I just thought about the number of people that don't feel comfortable in their skin, right? That feel like they should be in another skin, right? And not saying that that's not the case, right? But, but if we can step back a minute and think, do you know how to use, do you know how to use the tech that is the human body?
Human
Like the
body,
tech that you've been, do
right?
you know how to
And then
like, do you know how
use
to
it,
charge it?
charge it, like
Let's just start off with charge it, right? Because you know,
right,
you take the fresh phone out the box.
right,
Now the phones be coming out charged though. I ain't gonna lie. Like
right.
the phones back in the days, you know, when you get a phone, you have to
They'll be
charge
on
it.
20%.
You,
Like this is set
bro,
up.
you
Enough
couldn't
charge
even
is set up.
use your shit for the next hour because you got to charge it. You're like, I got a
Right.
brand new phone. But if the human body is a piece of tech and the human body is a piece of tech and those who would argue against it, what I want you to do is tonight, get in the bath, right? And then throw a toaster in there, right? Let me know. Let me know how that works out. Just let me know
Okay,
how that works
I
out,
don't think
George.
you'd be around. I don't think you'd be around.
Just, just put a live electrical wire in that back and let me know how that works out. Come on the pod, come talk about it. Right?
Yeah, that's not gonna
So,
happen.
so, so, like, do you know how to charge and recharge your tech? Let's just start there because your body is obviously electrical, right? Like you can Google this, right? You can Google this. If my body is electrical, I have electricity going through my body. Didn't Kevin Gates go viral for starting for charging a battery
Right.
with like
And
his fingers or
everybody's
some shit
like,
like that?
they're like, you can't do that.
Uh,
I'm like,
uh,
and it's sad
listen,
because a lot of people don't understand how electricity works. Like, like I went to school for electrical engineering, right?
yeah,
But funny enough, like I'm I'm now really understanding electricity. You know what I mean?
yes,
And
yes, bro.
so like I said, like there's certain times that you may not be aware of certain information, so
Yeah,
you kind of brush it off.
yeah,
You not
yeah,
understanding something, you kind of laugh at it or
yeah,
you mock it
yeah,
or you're like you
yeah,
make jokes,
yeah,
and
yeah,
which is like common. That's another thing too, bro. Like for like even entrepreneurs and even people that want to step into entrepreneurship, like, and here's the thing that no one told us about success, like people
yeah.
will mock you, people will make fun of you,
I,
people will because
absolutely.
the reason why it's not because you're not able to attain
Yeah,
what you're destined to attain. They'll mock
yeah,
you because they don't understand what you're trying to do, nor do they have the awareness or the information that you have. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
a lot of people get afraid of stepping into a different lane because they don't want to be judged, and they value
yeah,
their social relationships
yeah,
more than
yeah,
the divine relationship with me
yeah,
that's trying to get them to
yeah,
another place and to serve
yeah,
people. You know what I'm saying, bro?
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah. So
it.
if we make it more palatable, right? If we make it
Right,
more palatable, um, you know how you act like when you're out and you ain't got no charger for your phone
right.
and that motherfucker on 10 and that
You
motherfucker on
panicking.
10%.
Like, damn,
And you like,
panic. Yo, damn, I
I'm
need to.
good. Like I'm gonna be, I have no, you asked everybody for a charger. Nobody got a charger, right? So what's one of the first things you do when your battery's below 10%, right? And you know you ain't got no time, right?
Right,
You'll put it on screensaver. I
right.
mean, not screensaver. What am I talking about?
You
Power
put a
saver, right?
power saver, reserve, battery
And what,
reserve.
yeah,
Yeah,
so what does battery reserve? It literally reduces the capability of the phone, right? It actually turns the brightness of the screen down. So most people are walking around in dim lighting because you don't even know how to charge the tech that's your body. You don't know how to recharge the tech that's your body, right? So once you've gone through life changing experiences, right? And my entire life has been all life changing experiences, right? Like I really shouldn't, I don't want to get dark,
right,
right?
right.
We'll save that for another pod,
Let's,
right?
yep, we'll
But,
maneuver along.
but
Yep.
yeah, but I literally just learned how to recharge my device after getting beat up by life. And so when I step out the house every single day, I'm not going to say my battery's at 100, right? But I'm at a smooth 90%, no matter what I'm going through in life, because I've just mastered how to recharge my own tech. And so life keeps, life keeps fucking you up. And what happens when life fucks you up and you're in this stressed out and depressed state, right? You don't want to eat. Or you start eating comfort foods, which is typically bullshit, right?
Right.
Sugar, salts, sweets,
It's
all that stuff that makes
process.
you feel good,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's actually draining your battery.
Right.
And then you want to sleep, but you're not getting good sleep,
Right.
right? And you can't sleep. Again, draining your battery.
Facts.
And then you wake up the next day, struggle, dead, go to work, go to a job that you don't like,
Facts. Or
right?
deal with draining people at work. They're drain
Or deal with draining people, come home to somebody who you don't want to come home to, right?
draining you even
Like
more. Right.
even more, you're constantly draining your battery and then you can only get that battery charged up again to 20, 30% because of the way you live your lifestyle, right? What you put into your body, onto your body, what you do with your body. Now, like again, like you said, or which is again, that's profound. Do you know how to operate your own tech? I'm not saying that I've mastered operating my own tech,
Right.
but I just mastered my own tech just enough, um, over the years to not put a hole in my head
Right.
for the shit that I'm going through.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like some people need to just not do that.
Right.
They'll get through the next day. You might have woke up and left the house at 20% on Monday, but you know how to operate your own tech and you keep at it.
Right.
Tuesday, you might be up to 30%.
Right.
It might take a month
Right.
to get up to that. You might go up a percentage every single day for a month. Next thing you know, you're at 60% by the end of the month.
Right.
You keep, you keep working at operating your own tech, charging and recharging. The next thing you know, 2, 3 months later, no matter how whatever amount of time it takes you, now you've actually recharged to 90 to 100%. And, and whatever it is that puts you in that depressed state
Right.
while you were drained,
Right.
now it's like, it's back there now.
Right.
It's somewhere in the
It's like
past. Like, cause
it's like
I'm recharged now.
it's like it's not even existent anymore because
It's
that
not easy cause I got a full battery now.
you got a full battery and that.
I got a full battery,
Right.
right? I could do the things that I want to do. I
Right.
could do the things that I'm now enjoying the things that you took away or this job took away
Right.
or this family member took away.
Right.
They took away your joy for a certain thing. And now you've recharged your tech. You know how to use your tech now. Now you back on your shit.
That's a fact. That's a huge
It's a
one.
fact,
That's a big one, man.
bro. It's a big one, bro.
It's a big one,
And
man.
I think we should, we at that hour mark. I think we should leave it right there,
Leave it
bro.
right there. That
I think we should.
we just
I think
concluded. Like that's the homework for like everyone. Like really like think about it. Like do
figure
you
out how to charge your own tech
charge your own tech? Like to some or maybe most, this sounds like yo, what the fuck are these niggas talking about, right? But
for sure.
for the most part, those who do understand that, like really think about it. Like what
Yeah,
gives you energy,
yeah,
what charges you up, and what drains you. The
yeah,
minute that you decide you
yeah,
understand,
yeah,
you need to start making
yeah,
some better
yeah. And
choices.
let's address that real quick, right? If you listen to this, if you're listening to this and you have no idea what we're saying and you're not making a connection, think about if you were tech, if you were your device, what battery percentage are you at now? Guaranteed, if you're not rolling with what we're saying, guaranteed you're 30% or lower.
Damn. Kevin Hart voice.
I'm
Damn.
gonna just put my money on that, right? I'm gonna just put my money on that, right? But if you're actually listening to what we're saying and we're rolling, you're more than likely a high energy individual and you get it. For those in the middle, hopefully we can help you understand how to get through those how to get through that gut punch that when life starts beating the shit out of you, when life starts lifing and you just ready to say fuck it, right? Under any circumstance, right? Like rock with us, roll with us, stay tuned, stay tapped in, stay tapped in. Hopefully we can give you a little bit of game, a little bit of substance to help you charge your tech.
That's a fact. So that concludes this podcast, episode 1. Feel me? High vibe.
I mean,
A
a
high
high
vibe.
vibration vibe. Give me a high vibe.
Ah, peace, y'all.